Welcome to Real Estate Today with Yvonne Candy. Learn how to invest in today's residential and commercial real estate. Get informed and get the latest news and trends. Whether you're an investor, home buyer, or homeowner, or just want to be entertained, you're in the right place. And here's your host, Yvonne Candy.
Hi, everyone. This is another On the Fly episode. I was just trying to get myself together this morning, and I just wanted to shoot out, get me a cup of coffee. And I passed a sign that said Fsbo, for sale by owner. And I thought about you guys, and I'm saying, wow, I wonder, do my listeners, especially those out there who are Fsbos or who are thinking about being Fsbos, know the pros and cons of selling their home themselves. So I wanted to go over a few pros and cons of selling your home yourself and give you a few tips. One of the pros are you don't have to pay a realtor out of your net proceeds. And I know some of you guys cannot afford to. Maybe your house has a high balance on it or high mortgage or liens, and it's just not enough money to pay what an agency is asking for. And I get it. However, you need to adhere to some safety rules. Number one, let's talk about the price of your home before we even get into that. You have to make sure that the price of your home is in accordance with the comps in the area. Now, realtors have to give you a realtor, whichever one you choose. It could be a family friend. It could be a member of your family. But just make sure you get comps in the area that are within 6 months, the past 6 months, and also within a half a mile. And the property has to be comparable to your property. In other words, it has to look like yours reasonably. Same bedrooms, same square footage. And a realtor will be able to sort of negotiate between other options like finished basement and other things that you may have improvements on, maybe a new kitchen. And the other property may not have a new kitchen, but the other property may have a finished basement. But whatever it is, that's something that realtors usually come to some sort of happy medium with. And they've seen enough sales, or they can investigate other sales where they had to compare properties, somewhat like an appraiser does. However, make sure that your property is priced correctly, because if not, for instance, if it's priced too high, it's going to sit on the market for a very long time. There are some options to selling a property, and regardless of what price range it is, you can also auction it off if you don't sell it right away. And that's another podcast, but your realtor, a lot of times the agency that they're with, they have those options for sellers to auction off their property, or you can contact an auction agency directly and negotiate with them. So that's just some advice that I was giving you to sell. Some other advice that I wanted to give you is you have to be very, very careful when you're selling your house yourself. Let people set up appointments. Don't let people just walk in and out of your house when they feel like it. It's a lot of crime out there, and you have to be careful. Be prepared. Have people with you in your home. You know, I even stand outside of a house. I don't know. I don't be in a house by myself. And I have people coming in and out. You know, I don't do that. And I know sometimes you want to watch your house, so maybe you should have people on every floor, you know, while people walk through or whatever. But however, be very careful with that. Those are the things that a realtor can handle for you. And that's one of the disadvantages. That's one of the cons of trying to sell your property yourself. Negotiating skills also is a con, because a lot of times you aren't a professional. You don't know how to negotiate certain skills, certain sales prices of a property. Now, I want to give you just some advice on that. You can negotiate anything you want when you got a cash buyer. Anything. Anything goes. You can negotiate a second mortgage. You can negotiate, I don't know, a balloon payment, anything. You just can negotiate anything when you have a cash buyer. It makes it a lot easier to sell your home. That also is another podcast. Hit me up on Amazon, subscribe, get some of that information. It should be up in the next couple of weeks. And today's date is, I believe, the 28th of June, 2018. So just, look it up. There's some great information and detailed information that would be there in one of my skills on how to sell your home or buy a home. Several ways with different negotiation techniques that's going to be in there that are definitely endless. And by the way, you can use some of those techniques to buy or sell any business, not just a home, but any business. However, we were talking about cons, and as I said before, just be careful with that. Make sure your pricing is correct. You cannot do this creative sale when someone has a lender. You're really not supposed to, because everything is supposed to be exposed. When you have a lender, they want to know the terms of the agreement. The buyer's lender want to know the terms of the agreement, and that's the way that is. Now, you can do it any way you want. However, that is what the rule is. When you get into your paperwork, don't go to Staples or a legal stationery store. Not good. Because first of all, you don't know what to put in the contract. Contingencies, for instance. We just talked about creative financing. You don't know what to put in there. You really should have a transaction agent or a real estate attorney. And when you're talking about all of this creative stuff, a real estate attorney might be the way to go, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a realtor cannot give you a note. They only supply the paperwork, the sales agreement, anything else that goes along with that. Maybe, I don't know, an extension, an addendum, whatever. And they handle the settlement process. So if you want to get into that fancy dancy creative stuff, which, believe me, is still alive, make sure that you have a real estate attorney to handle that. And some people can even afford to do that, and some people can't. That stuff is usually for people who have a lot of equity in their home, and they can afford to wait. When you're talking about notes and stuff like that, they can afford to wait for their money. They can afford to be paid maybe every month. They can afford a balloon payment to take out or to give to the buyer. However, like I said, that type of paperwork is best for a real estate attorney. Now, if you have just a straight up sale and you don't want to use a realtor and their paperwork, make sure that any sales agreement that you get it would be dedicated to service the state in which you live in. Every state is different, and a lot of times you can get these contracts online. So just make sure that your sales agreement is for your state. Also, again, make sure that the buyer's money go in a separate escrow account, and that is the title company of you or your buyer. And If you don't use them, make sure you go to your bank and set up an escrow account. Well, I wish you guys a lot of luck on selling your home if you're a Fsbo out there. And don't forget to check me out on Amazon. You will find a lot of information for investors, home buyers, home sellers, and you subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribe there, and also you can find me on Google Play. You can find me on iTunes, iHeart. Just Google me. You'll find me. You can also reach me by email at yvonne@yvonnecandy.com if you need to ask me a question or you need some advice about something. But anyway, happy selling, and I will see you on the next On the Fly episode.
You've been listening to Real Estate Today with Yvonne Candy. Don't forget to visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all other social media.